there we go. It's 10 minutes to 8 and at 10 to 8. Let's head on up to Dubbo. Now, Mathew Dickerson, you could never be accused of that. He's so shy, could you?
Probably not, Kerry. I'm not in the right job if I'm too shy, am I?
No, I know. Now, listen, some very, very good news from your point of view, and a service that actually was in there, but then, of course, probably due to COVID and all that sort of stuff, was cancelled, but a new air service.
A new air service, a returning air service. So Fly Pelican have now resumed or about to resume their Dubbo to Ballina flights. And they were pretty popular when they were going. About 5,000 passengers used the service, but it just got too hard towards the end of the pandemic. So they actually were still running early this year. Then they paused them for a little while. And they always did say they'd return, and true to their word, they've returned. So from September, those flights return. It's actually quite reasonable, $179. So that's not too bad for a one-way trip up to Ballina. A bit cheaper than driving these days with petrol prices the way they are. And what we found last time, Kerry, was that people thought, oh, that'd be great for Dubbo people to go and visit Ballina, have a bit of time on the beach, get away from the cold weather and get up to some warmer weather. But we actually found the visitation to Dubbo was really strong as well. So we had lots of great reports and surveys that came in for people coming to visit our zoo and taking a break from the beach and coming inland somewhere. So it's actually working really well, or has worked really well for both locations.
Yeah, I'm pleased to see they're getting quite aggressive because Fly Pelican, of course, are now flying out of Bathurst to Sydney, and that starts next month. So it's good to see that. Now, you've got a festival coming up in October. Tell me about that.
Yeah, the Dream Festival. This is actually something that was started 10 years ago. Was the first Dream Festival we had. And it's a whole range of different things. It could be music, it could be art. The whole idea is that DREAM is an acronym: entertainment, arts, music, dance, so a whole range of activities. And it's changed and morphed over the years. For the last 2 years, it's morphed into mothballs because obviously with the pandemic, you can't have a big crowd gathering. But this year, we're coming out of the pandemic well enough now. I mean, there's still some bits and pieces to go there. But that'll start from the 16th of October. We've got Zoocoustic. We've got 21st of October, Fong Lee's Lane. That's in Wellington. 22nd of October, something that really became its signature event is the Dream Lantern Parade. So a range of activities there. And again, it's just another excuse, another great reason to come to Dubbo and see what we've got to offer, as well as the great things that people traditionally expect, like the zoo, like the old Dubbo Jail, like the Wellington Caves.
Yeah, okay. Now, the other thing that's happening too, this is sort of a bit out of left field, is the fact, we all know we've got pothole problems and all that sort of stuff with the rain. And the rain has caused all sorts of problems right across the state. But in your area, riverbank problems.
Riverbank problems. Tracker-Riley Cycleway is an incredibly popular area for people to ride their bikes, take their dogs for a walk, go for a run. And it goes along nice and close to the river in many parts of it, which makes it absolutely beautiful. But the riverbank, one part of it just down in South Dubbo, one part of it actually collapsed away with all this extra flow of water, and it's obviously still flowing now. More water's being let out of Burrendong Dam, and so we lost about 1.5 metres of that riverbank, which just gets it a bit too close to Tracker-Riley Cycleway in one or two particular parts, actually. We've put some bunting up around those areas just to direct people around Tracker-Riley there, because we're a bit worried at the moment with this water still flowing. People going along Tracker-Riley Cycleway, having a good look at the river, they might end up in the river. So we've got to do a bit of investigation there, Kerry, to see what we might need to do to secure that area and make it obviously safe for people going forward.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because they let a fair bit of water out of Burrendong, didn't they?
They have been, and they've still been letting that flow. We've got two of our pedestrian bridges, which it was almost farcical in the fact that we had those pedestrian bridges underwater. The water dropped down, we opened the bridges, and I think they were open for a couple of days before then we had to close them again, because again, that water they're letting out of Burrendong Dam. And they do that for logical reasons. They want to have enough headroom in there that if we get more water flows, which I think we're going to get this week, we get more water flows in there, we need some room for storage in the dam, because obviously one of the important functions of that dam is to reduce the levels of flood that you might get through places like Wellington and Dubbo. So obviously that's a great feature of the dam, but you've got to have that headroom. So they're letting more water out, which is keeping those pedestrian bridges under, but the Erskine Street Bridge, the road bridge, is still above water. So that's the plan of it, to keep it just below that road bridge.
Good on you. Thank you for your time, sir. Once again, you have a good week, and we'll talk next week.
Thanks, Kerry.
Have a good day.